Jeffrey Hunter names the gay actors of old Hollywood he dated in secret born. Henry Herman McInnes Jr. on November 25, 1926, in New Orleans, Louisiana, the man who would become Jeffrey Hunter spent his formative years in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. His family relocated there in the 1930s, and it was in the Midwest that he developed an early and profound passion for the performing arts. This dedication to acting would eventually guide him from his local stage to the bright lights of Hollywood, where he would make a lasting impression. Hunter was a standout student at Whitefish Bay High School, participating actively in the drama program. He went on to study theater at Northwestern University, a highly respected institution for actors, where he refined his skills under the guidance of esteemed professors in both classic and modern theater. His academic pursuits were briefly paused for his service in the United States Navy during World War II, where he worked as a radar technician. After his honorable discharge, he returned to Northwestern, completing his degree in speech and radio. He later pursued graduate work at UCLA, a strategic move that placed him in the epicenter of the American film industry during a period of significant transformation. Jeffrey Hunter's arrival in Hollywood coincided with a time when the major studios were actively seeking new, charismatic faces to appeal to post-war moviegoers. With his handsome, all-American looks and captivating blue eyes, he was quickly spotted by scouts from 20th Century Fox, which signed him to a studio contract in 1950. His initial roles were in a supporting capacity in films like 14 Hours, 1951, and Call Me Mr., 1951. However, it did not take long for him to be cast in more substantial parts that highlighted his on-screen presence and acting ability. One of Hunter's most celebrated roles was in John Ford's iconic 1956 Western, The Searchers, where he starred opposite screen legend John Wayne. Playing Martin Pauly, a man of mixed heritage on a multi-year journey to find his abducted relative, Hunter delivered a performance of remarkable emotional depth and quiet resilience. His ability to hold his own against an actor of Wayne's stature in such a narratively complex film cemented his reputation as a serious and capable actor. In 1961, Hunter took on another career-defining role, portraying Jesus Christ in Nicholas Ray's biblical epic King of Kings. The part was a double-edged sword. While it demonstrated his capacity for conveying serene dignity and spiritual weight, his matinee idol good looks led some to question if he was too handsome for the sacred character. Despite this, Hunter gave a sincere and deeply felt performance that has been praised over the years for its compassion. The film endured, becoming a holiday staple and one of his most recognized works. Despite these significant achievements, Hunter encountered career difficulties in the mid-1960s as he tried to avoid typecasting and demonstrate his range. He explored various genres, taking roles in the war drama No Man is an Island, 1962, and the science fiction film Dimension 5, 1966. He also found notable work in television. In 1965, he was cast as Captain Christopher Pike in The Cage, the original pilot for Star Trek. This groundbreaking part forever connected him to one of science fiction's most enduring franchises. Although NBC passed on the initial pilot and Hunter chose not to return for a second one, his portrayal of Captain Pike is now considered a fundamental piece of Star Trek history, with his version of the character being celebrated in numerous modern spin-offs. Jeffrey Hunter's private life involved a series of important relationships and family responsibilities that ran parallel to his Hollywood career. His first marriage occurred as his career was just taking off. In December 1950, he wed actress Barbara Rush, a rising star in her own right. The young, attractive couple was seen as the epitome of Hollywood glamour and domestic bliss. Their marriage drew significant media focus, and in 1952, they had their son, Christopher. As Hunter's fame grew with films like The Searchers, the intense pressures of his career, frequent travel, and production demands put a heavy strain on their relationship. After 5 years together, the couple divorced in 1955. 2 years later, in 1957, Hunter married for a second time to Dusty Bartlett, a sophisticated and beautiful fashion model. Bartlett had a young son, Steele, from a previous marriage, whom Hunter adopted as his own, creating a new, blended family. Jeffrey and Dusty would go on to have 2 more sons, Todd and Scott. For 10 years, from 1957 to 1967, they cultivated a family life that appeared happy and stable in public. Hunter was frequently pictured enjoying his role as a father, and he often spoke of the importance of being a hands-on parent. Those close to him described him as a devoted father who was deeply involved in his children's lives. However, like many relationships under the glare of the Hollywood spotlight, theirs eventually fractured, and they divorced in 1967. Following the end of his second marriage, Hunter continued to seek personal stability. In February 1969, only 3 months before his tragic and premature death, he married actress Emily McLaughlin. She was widely known for her long-running role as Nurse Jessie Brewer on the popular soap opera General Hospital. Their marriage, though tragically short, marked a final chapter in Hunter's life. It came at a time when he was working to revitalize his career with projects in both television and international cinema. Sadly, their time as a married couple was cut short by his sudden passing in May 1969. Friends noted that in this brief union, Hunter seemed content and optimistic about his future. In the final years of his tragically short life, Jeffrey Hunter, known for his piercing blue eyes and leading roles in cinematic classics, confided in a close friend who was also his biographer. He spoke of the secret relationships he had maintained, hidden away from the public during one of Hollywood's most oppressive periods. In an age when being gay was not only a social taboo but a professional death sentence, Hunter lived a compartmentalized life, one filled with profound emotion and secret solidarity with other men who bore the same burden. According to this confidant, Hunter disclosed that he had engaged in discreet affairs with several famous actors of his time, men who were also forced to live double lives. One of the individuals Hunter named was Anthony Perkins, the intense and enigmatic star of Psycho. They had met at a Hollywood party in the mid-1950s, where Hunter was drawn to Perkins' nervous charm. Their connection, as Hunter related, was brief but deeply felt. With Tony, there was this shared terror, Hunter reportedly recalled. It was a connection built in whispers, a mutual understanding that the slightest misstep could bring everything crashing down. Another name Hunter allegedly shared was Tab Hunter, the blonde, all-American box office sensation. They were introduced by a shared agent at Warner Brothers, where both were typecast as romantic heroes. They found common ground in their shared professional frustrations and the private lives they were forced to conceal. Being with Tab felt like a momentary escape, Jeffrey's account could state. For a short while, the pressure was off. We didn't have to be the clean-cut heroes the studio was selling. A third actor Hunter reportedly mentioned was Sal Mineo, the gifted and troubled star of Rebel Without a Cause. Mineo was younger than Hunter, but they formed a surprising and intense bond after meeting during a charity event in 1962. Sal had a different kind of energy, a recklessness that was both thrilling and terrifying, Hunter allegedly noted. According to the biography, Mineo, who later became one of the few actors of that era to be more open about his bisexuality, pursued Hunter with a candid intensity. Their affair was short-lived but left a lasting mark on Hunter, who reflected on Mineo's relative openness and tragically short life as a testament to the high cost of defying Hollywood's rigid norms. These hidden relationships were significant chapters in Jeffrey Hunter's inner world. He was never afforded the chance to live openly as a bisexual man, but he found comfort and understanding in the company of others who carried the same secret. Whether his marriages to women were born of love, strategy, or a combination of both, it is evident that Hunter lived within the strict confines of public expectation, while his heart sought a different truth in private. His willingness to speak of these men, even in hushed tones near the end of his life, suggests a deep yearning for a form of honesty that he would never live to see fully realized. In November 1968, Jeffrey Hunter went to Spain to film what would be his last movie, Cry Chicago. It was an international co-production about the Chicago Mafia, a popular subject at the time. The film was set to feature gritty action, but one of these sequences led to a devastating accident for Hunter. During the filming of a scene with a planned car explosion, the pyrotechnics malfunctioned. A car window that was meant to shatter outward instead propelled glass and explosive force inward directly at Hunter. The blast left him with a severe concussion and other injuries. A true professional, Hunter completed his work on the film, but his health was already declining. His third wife, Emily McLaughlin, recalled that on the flight home to the United States, Hunter showed frightening symptoms. He was in a state of shock, unable to speak, and could barely move, clear signs of serious brain trauma. Upon his return to Los Angeles, he was taken to Good Samaritan Hospital. Doctors found a concussion and a displaced vertebra, but, unable to find other major damage, released him to recuperate at home. On the afternoon of May 26, 1969, tragedy struck. While walking down a staircase in his Van Nuys home, Hunter collapsed, having suffered a massive intracranial hemorrhage, a catastrophic delayed result of the onset injury. The fall caused him to hit his head again, fracturing his skull. He was found unconscious and rushed to Valley Presbyterian Hospital. Emergency brain surgery was performed to relieve the pressure on his brain, but the damage was too extensive. Despite the doctor's efforts, Jeffrey Hunter passed away the following morning, May 27, 1969. He was just 42 years old. His death was a profound shock to fans and the industry. A handsome and talented actor was gone far too soon. His funeral was held on May 31, 1969, at St. Mark's Episcopal Church in Van Nuys, where friends and colleagues gathered to mourn a man known for his professionalism and humble nature. He was laid to rest at Glen Haven Memorial Park in Sylmar, California. The tragic circumstances of his death, originating from an on-set accident, served as a grim reminder of the hidden dangers actors can face in their work.